Peace on earth and goodwill towards men. These are words we've heard probably all of our lives. Why do we need peace? Because the Bible tells us that all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And then tells us that His grace and redemption through Jesus Christ. Judgment and punishment will come, but first God offers peace through His grace. Today we'll look at the peace He offers us and how it is displayed even in the Old Testament. It's always been the same. It's present, even back to the idea of fellowship with mankind, where He would come in the afternoons and walk with Adam and Eve and talk to them, and how that was destroyed by sin, but yet immediately He showed them that there is a way to reconcile, a way of peace again, and that's through the death of the innocent. So all that happens in Genesis, and it comes back over and over again in the Bible. And in Deuteronomy 20, this is the verses I read last week. It says in the 10th verse, "When you go near a city to fight against it, then proclaim an offer of peace to it." So this is how the Israel was to conduct their wars as they captured Canaan land. If they came to a city who's an enemy of theirs, who they are going to fight to the death and destroy, the first thing that you do is offer peace. Then you give that city hope. And that's what God does for all of us. That's the same thing that God did. And so as Joshua led the Israelites to fight against the cities, first thing he would do is offer them peace. And before the idea of destruction. And the destruction only came after they rejected the peace. It says in the next verse, "And it shall be that if they accept your offer of peace and open to you, then all the people who are found in it shall be placed under tribute to you and serve you." And that's what happened to me when I was saved. Christ brought peace in my life. And not just then, He's brought peace to me many, many times. During all sorts of struggles and heartaches and scary times, times that have just been uncertain what tomorrow's going to hold. Christ has always managed to bring peace to me. And He does for everyone that opens up to them, that accepts His offer of peace and commits to serve Him and to pay tribute to Him, give of themselves to Christ. And Joshua was told this to the cities. Well, there's two parts to that. One is he's teaching those heathen people about the love of God, that God offers them peace. And he's also acting like the one that gave him peace. He's the leader. He's telling them to be like Christ, to be like that one that's going to be born, to offer peace first. And only if they reject it do you enter in war and judgment. In Romans 8, 5th verse, Romans 8:5, "For those who live according to the flesh set their minds on the things of the flesh, but those who live according to the Spirit, the things of the Spirit." So we have people that have surrendered to Christ, that live after the Spirit and serve Him, and we have people that live after the flesh. "For to be carnally minded is death, and to be spiritually minded is life and peace." So Paul, as he writes this book, he goes back to the same thought. Those that submit themselves to God will find life and peace. Those cities that submitted themselves to God and to Israel, to Joshua, received life and peace. It's a theme that goes throughout the Bible. 7th verse, "Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be. So then, those who are in the flesh cannot please God." So Paul brings out the idea that those that are carnal-minded, those that are not accepting Christ, are enemies of God. Enmity, they're at war with Christ and fighting against Him. And they cannot receive that peace that comes from God. In Luke 2:14, says, "Glory to God in the highest, in earth peace, goodwill towards men." God offers goodwill. He offers peace to the earth. He gives peace by the Son. And this baby that's born that the wise men wanted to come see, the shepherds wanted to come see, the old priest held, they all look forward to the day of his birth. The old priest, the whole thing about him living, he could die in peace now because he got to see the salvation of God. He got to hold the salvation of God. But not everybody felt that way. Herod's reaction was completely different. Herod heard there's a king born of the Jews, and he was immediately at war. And he was at war with the babies, and he wanted to kill all the babies that were born under the age of 2, if I remember right. His reaction was completely different. The coming of Christ did not bring him peace. It brought war and death, and eventually his death, because he would not accept the price. So today, as we study and we celebrate the birth of Christ, his coming, we know that his birth goes into his living and then his sacrifice and the ultimate payment that he gives. I encourage us all to choose peace. And if we're already saved and if we're already following him, then daily choose Christ. And for those that aren't saved, aren't following him, then today is that kind of a day. Accept the peace that is offered and not be at war with Christ.